Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of 100 Yards Football and Sports Talk Radio. I'm your host and producer, Logan Landers. Join me here today to talk about the Tennessee Titans and their 2024 team preview. My guy from the Elite Sports Entertainment Network. And I'll just go ahead and give Titans fan a warning out there. You might want to you can watch it. You can watch the video, but I don't know if you'll be pleased with what's going to be said about your team. Tell it like it is, Jay McLovin. Jay, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, I am doing well. And yeah, I mean, look, we're not telling the fans of Tennessee anything that they don't already know. That's like somebody coming up to me and saying, hey, Dallas has a mediocre quarterback. Yeah, no shit. And we're gonna give him $60 million. So what else are you gonna tell me that I don't already know? So it's not like they know we're gonna say great things about a team that on defense was ranked 23rd. And a team on the offensive line was ranked 26th for a quarterback that literally says to be named later. Let that sink in just for a minute.
To be named later.
I mean, that's really what we're doing here, aren't we? I mean, they first brought in Malik Willis, and that was a failed experiment. So he got thrown down to third on the depth chart. And then they brought in Will Levis, who in the first game looked good. And then after that, just like complete dog poo-poo. And then they brought in Mason Rudolph to be the number 2 backup behind that. And to be honest with you, I'd probably roll with Mason Rudolph and I would all 3 of them. That's just me. I think it would be a godsend if this team went 6-11 or even 7-10. Dare I even think that they could do something like that? I don't. I'm just trying to be somewhat optimistic about this Tennessee team. To be honest with you, when I look at this team, it makes me want to take a lot of Valium and go to sleep, wake up about 15 years later when hopefully they've been rebuilt and better than what they are currently. Having said that, I do think that bringing in Calvin Ridley wasn't exactly the best thing. This team already has enough issues. The last thing they need is bring his issues from Jacksonville over. Hopkins is on his way out. Ridley wasn't even effective last year. So you're looking at your 2 best wide receivers, none of which did a damn thing last year. God, let that set in for a minute. Who even cares who's behind them? When your top 2 can't do a damn thing, nobody cares. And let's be honest with you. If you think Pollard is going to give you this great run game over a long period of time, it seems like he's pretty much the only true offense you really have. If you haven't watched Pollard's career with Dallas, who was a pretty decent offensive line and wasn't asked to carry the whole damn load because he actually had somebody behind him that he could share the rock with, yeah, let me know how that works out for you, Tennessee. He'll be on the injured reserve list, probably done for this season by week 6. What a time to be alive, man. Neither one of your quarterbacks are worth the damn. Let's just put it that way. So you still need a field general. You need to come dead freaking last. And hopefully there'll be a quarterback out there better than what you have. Or if nothing else, get $60 million or $70 million or whatever. And see if you can scrape one of those quarterbacks out. Not that I would, if I was either one of those quarterbacks, would I come anywhere near your organization with a 10-foot pole. But you never know. Bunnies sometimes talk a lot of times. The schedule, Jets, Green Bay, Miami, Indianapolis, Buffalo, Detroit, Houston, Jags, Bengals, Houston. None of that speaks wins. And this is probably being generous. So if you just go off the ones I listed, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 losses right there that I think are probably going to happen. So that's already
7 and 10.
7 and 10
minimum, yeah.
And that's on the good side. On the bad side, maybe they go 6-11,
if not worse. You never know.
I'm just trying to say, if I'm Tennessee, I'm going to take me a long comatose nap, and I'm going to live vicariously through Memphis, Nashville Predators, and whatever else. Tennessee Volunteers, maybe their baseball team just took the World Series in college baseball. I would probably be looking into those types of things before I ever think about looking at the Titans as my means of happiness in the entertainment world. And God forbid. Oh, one last thing.
Go ahead.
Hey, one last thing. I just want to say rest in peace to Roy Jones Jr.'s son. He passed away not too long ago, a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
Suicide, believe it or not, in his dad's home. So, well, I want to extend our heartfelt warmth to the Roy Jones family.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, let's talk about these Titans. I mean, like Jay said, they left a hole filled by Derrick Henry, who's not with the team anymore. He's gone. In steps in Tony Pollard to replace some of that workload. Will Levis, bunch of question marks from out of that dude. Bunch of question marks. Hasn't proven it yet to be the guy, right? Threw the ball 1,800 yards, eight touchdowns, 4 INTs. And Jay, I know you love this because this is a stat you always go to whenever we talk football. And that, my friend, is QBR, quarterback rating.
Yeah.
Would you like to – do you know what Will Levis's QBR is, Jay?
I didn't check because I didn't think
you don't even know if it goes
while looking into. But if I had to take an educated guess based off of what I know of Will Levis, I'm going to say 20.8.
A little bit. It is better. It is better than that. However, his QBR last season was 33.2.
It's off by 13.
It's just a little bit. Just a little bit. But, yeah, so Will Levis, you still got a lot to work on, man. You still got to prove it. Calvin Ridley, they said, all right, come on over, Calvin. We'll give you some money. Well, you can hang out over here. DeAndre Hopkins. Jay, did anyone else forget he was on this team?
Yeah.
I mean, look, DeAndre still a good player, right? He's still a great player. 75 grabs last year, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. But he's 32. He's getting a little bit older. And really, since he left Houston back in 2019, his last season there, he had one good year in Arizona. Really, since then, he's kind of been figuring it out still. I'm not saying he's having bad years, but we're not. I think it's safe to say he's kind of reached his peak in terms of his performance. Yeah. Still a good, reliable receiver I would take on my team any day of the week. But when you look at the rest of this unit, you look at the rest of these Titans, who else do they have? Who else is on their roster and their depth chart? Well, we mentioned Ridley and Hopkins. Those are your main two. Treylon Burks still has some potential, but he's been hurt here recently. You got Tyler Boyd. I'm not expecting a lot of noise from this team on offensively. Defensively, they got Devondre Sweat, Jay, out of your neck of the woods out there in Texas, who is probably the biggest player defensively. He's a monster of a man at 6'4", 362. Oh, my God, he's like a truck there. But they got him at the nose tackle spot. I think that he will definitely be clogging up some running lanes, that's for sure. You got Jeffrey Simmons as well, Harold Landry III, guys who have been there for a couple of years now, who know football, who've been around for a while. You've got some players like Caleb Farley as well, Cedric Gray, Shaheem Carter, Elijah Molden, Amani Hooker, Jarius Sneed as well, right? But I'm not feeling this Texans team, man. I can't do it. I can't lie to myself. Can't lie to the people. Just can't do it.
That's right, though.
Because we don't lie here. We try to stay as optimistic and as positive as we can. It's just unfortunate. I think this is the last team in the AFC South. We've already done all the other teams. Go check it out and see where we're going to rank them. But yeah, I think Tennessee, this is fourth place. This is a team. I don't think lottery pick. I don't think that. I think they've got a little too much talent for a lottery pick, but potential top 10 draft pick. Maybe so. They got some work they need to do, man. Really, this team's just been out of whack for a couple of seasons. With Tannehill and my God, Jay, it was just 2 or 3 years ago, we were saying this team, okay, they could fight for an AFC spot with Henry and Tannehill. My God, they were looking good, and then then they got rid of their head coach, and that was kind of questionable, and then everything's just kind of went off the rails here.
They need to go dig up Tannehill and bring his old butt back.
Bring him back here, yeah. Because, like I said, Will Levis. A lot of people were kind of surprised. I said, "Really, this is your guy who you're gonna have be your starter?" And that's the thing, Jay, is he's a second round pick, but you don't see a whole lot of second round picks be quarterbacks. And I'm not saying that to knock on him, but a lot of the guys in the league that are starting quarterbacks today are first round picks for the most part. Oh, yeah. And if you are a middle round pick, you got to prove it, and you got to prove it quick, or else you are going to have a very short leash, and a leash that could potentially, if it doesn't go well, put you behind the depth chart. I don't think it's going to be a great season, like you said, Jay. You've got the Volunteers just came off winning the College World Series. Shout out to them. Memphis Grizzlies are gearing up for another good season. They just had their draft the other night, getting Zach Edey, so that's going to be fun to watch. Big guy out there. But Titans fans might want to stay home this year. Might want to watch the games from your couch. Save yourself the hassle of traffic for these home games this year. But that's it. We're telling it like it is. We're not trying to sugarcoat it. Titans fans, go support your team. We know you love them, but it might not be the best watch. For Jay McLovin, I've been your host and producer, Logan Landers. Guys, if you enjoyed the episode, like, follow, share, and subscribe.